This is me in Barcelona at the end of my 48-hour business trip. I achieved my goals, I met my rich clients, I networked with amazing entrepreneurs and recorded a couple of podcasts. But you have to know that all of this almost didn't happen. The whole world was against me to go from France to Barcelona. I faced the Olympic strikes, my girlfriend's car got vandalized the day of the flight, and when I finally got to the airport, my flight got cancelled. But I managed to squeeze myself onto another flight, making me only 2 out of 230 people that EasyJet didn't fly. After many troubles, I met my first rich client, Jerome, who's making more than $30,000 per month.
Ça va? Tranquille.
Pero aquí es húmedo, ¿no? Pero donde vivimos nosotros, a Grenoble, cerca de Lyon, es mucho calor. Es como una...
Thanks to Jerome's Spanish skills, we grabbed a cab and arrived at this green building for the business event I bought my plane tickets for. It was super cool. I met tons of amazing entrepreneurs and we learned a lot about cold emailing to generate leads. Then we headed to a fancy restaurant in Barcelona where I realized I was surrounded by lead gen agencies.
What are you doing, man?
I'm running a lead generation agency.
I'm running a lead generation agency.
What are you doing?
I'm very original. I'm running a lead generation agency.
What are you doing?
Parle français.
What are you doing as well?
B2B video prospecting SaaS and a lead gen agency.
I make impact. I let business grow.
Yeah, I was in San Francisco for 4 years. I was working in tech. And then I moved to Madrid last year. I got to Madrid and I think I went a little bit crazy. And I was like, what is the opposite that I can do that is like the opposite of an office? And so I took a one-way ticket to Bali in the beginning of last year. I thought I was going to be there for 4 weeks. I ended up there for 6 months. And in Bali, I got very inspired. I met a lot of people that were running their own businesses. And that's where I decided to start my own lead generation agency. And so it's all history from there.
Bro, share some stuff about cold emailing. What is your favorite cold email tip that you can give to people?
This is an edgy one. Hopefully you don't post this too many places. Avoid SMTP private servers. I've got to say it. Gmail, Outlook only. It's my hot take. Sorry, just not as good.
I tried it. It sucks. Like, sorry to say it, but that's the truth.
Deliverability first.
Alright guys, so now we first day and the event last night was amazing. Like I met some of my clients. Right now I'm actually going to the office of Michel from CallIQ to basically record some content with the boys and to do some case study with Jeremy, who's using Brad Call. So I think it's gonna be fun. But yesterday, man, like I met so many lead generation founders in just one room. That was crazy, like 50 people plus, and everyone was doing lead generation agencies, mostly cold emailing agencies, yeah, from all over the world. Like it was not just people in Barcelona or from Spain. There was many different people, so it was pretty cool. And it's crazy when you go to this type of events, like everyone has the same mindset, right? So like you have people who's coming from San Francisco who were working in Europe before and, you know, like traditional jobs at Salesforce and stuff. And then they just decided one day to just build an agency. They started freelancing and step by step, like you have your business, you have your employees. So pretty cool. I don't know why they have that, but they have like this funny Casa Dragon like coffee here. So I think I'm gonna go with a Targaryen Frappuccino. All right, and then like I didn't party last night, but I got home 2 a.m. So I think now having a little Starbucks is gonna be pretty awesome. So we're close to the co-working space. So basically you see this big tower right here. It's essentially the W, so it's pretty much like a place where there's many stars. This is where they go, the hotel where they go when they stay in Spain, especially in Barcelona. Yeah, this is the Barceloneta, And you see, like, pretty cool. There's a beach here, but there's also a naked beach actually just right there. And where I'm going is this side here, where there's the blue. It sounds very small compared to the big tower, but it's actually pretty big for a co-working space and pretty modern. So yeah, in terms of flow, like, just look at this, guys. Like, you can go work, and straight away after your day, you can just after the day, you can just go there to the beach. So very, very cool vibes here. So yeah, I'm gonna go meet Jeremy for the case study, and we're gonna see how it goes. Yeah, I think I'm gonna title this video something pretty related to like a broke SaaS founder is meeting his rich agency clients, because essentially when you're building an agency, it's super easy, in my opinion, and I've done it myself, to go to 5K to 10K per month super easily, and then it depends on your skills to really grow beyond that. But when it comes to SaaS, to get to that 10K, 20K per month, when you're building a platform, like not a tool that just find emails, for example, which is just a dedicated tool, but to actually build a platform, like, it takes a while. So that's why so many startup companies, they're raising VC funding, but we didn't, because we want to stay bootstrap. Like, I think the goal with my co-founder is that if we reach the threshold of like 10 million in annual recurring revenue, it's going to be a huge win for us. Because obviously when you have 100% of the share, you can easily sell that company for like 100, and depending on the multiple and the time, etc. But you can go anywhere between 30 to 150 million dollars, depending if it's a strategic acquisition or if you have like a good churn rate, like all this kind of stuff, all these kind of metrics. And so I think, like, the strategy is not to raise money, because when you raise money, you really have to go for a company that directly aims a target of $100 million in annual recurring revenue. And the goal here is rather to go for a company that first do a couple of millions up to like $10 million in annual recurring revenue, and then ultimately you decide if you want to do an exit, which will be super good in the hundreds of $1 million, or if you want to go for that big company doing $1 billion in annual recurring revenue. And then now we have Jeremy, who just arrived here. So yeah, it's time to record some content with him. Hey man, ça va? Bah ouais, tranquille. T'es chaud?
When Jeremy arrived, we called Michel, who organized last night's event, to join us at a cafe, and we caught up in our native language.
Ce plan, il sera parmi d'autres
Ouais.
plans qui, eux, seront où on parlera peut-être en anglais et tout. Donc, c'est un peu micmac.
Ouais, c'est ça. But I feel like something we can do actually is that, like, if you have a workflow, you can just explain the workflow with a lot of hand gestures.
Yeah.
And like with my video editor, like, we're gonna like, for example, say, you're gonna use Smart Lead and then play, etc.
Put the logo.
So yeah, you're gonna put the logos and do some like motion design stuff.
Okay.
And so,
What I love with Record is actually that the slogan that you have, like doing sales like in 2024, not 2010.
yeah.
It spoke to me. I resonated with that like a lot. And
Yeah. Do you know the story behind it?
I would love to get it.
Yeah, actually, the story behind Brackle, like on the landing page, like the H1 is that, yeah, the sales CRM for 2024, not 2010, is because Pipedrive, which is the SaaS we're going after, like they launched in 2010, Close.io, they launched in 2010, and all these CRMs they launched in 2010, and they never pretty much evolved from like email and calling maybe, but there's no like LinkedIn social and stuff. So that's why we say 2010 specifically.
Okay.
And it just sounds better than 2013, you know.
I see.
So when it comes to my software, Brackle, like which is a sales CRM for agencies and startup founders, it's actually pretty special because, like, most people these days, they want results super fast, right? So what they're gonna do is that they were gonna either make an agency so that they can get customers super rapidly. So very good cash flow business. Second thing that they will do is that if they do a SaaS, right now the trend is to build a no-code SaaS, or to build like a small tool in like a specific niche so that you will have less competition and very rapidly generate revenues, right? And if you're good and if it's trendy, you can sell that for a nice multiple compared to a service business. And with my co-founder, Matteo, who is living in Thailand, Bangkok, while I'm living in France, we decided to go after the biggest software market in the world, which is the CRM software market. So the biggest CRM in the world is like Salesforce. So the second biggest SaaS in the world is HubSpot, and both of these softwares, they are CRM softwares. And so just to give you an idea, like Salesforce is doing $30 billion a year. HubSpot is doing a couple of $billion a year. Pipedrive, which is leading the SMB space, because these guys, they were at the enterprise levels, like HubSpot and Salesforce. Like Pipedrive, who's leading the SMBs, is probably around $200 to $300 million per year. And the co-founders of Pipedrive sold the software for, I think, $1.5 billion a couple of years ago. And so basically there's a ton of money, right? And it's an evergreen industry. So I think like whatever the advancement with AI and stuff, like in 10 to 20 years, there will still be CRM softwares. Like people need to do lead contact management in a way on another. And so our bet with my co-founder was, okay, we're gonna go into this massive competitive industry, because pretty much like no one is doing it. And to just be able to penetrate that market, like it's gonna take so much effort. So you at least for a year or two, put all your efforts, time and energy to build like almost an MVP software, right? Because there's so many features in the sales CRM that people expect. So even if you start in a niche, you still are building a CRM software. So yes, you might do a CRM software for, I don't know, like firefighters, but it's still a CRM software. So it's kind of very big when it comes to the infrastructure of such a software. So that's why essentially we decided to go after this market, because there's very few competition in the end. But if you manage to survive the first 1, 2, or 3 years, you're gonna make a shit ton of money. And you're going to be able to go after this gigantic market where in the end, like over the course of 5, 10 to 15 years, you're going to be able to make probably about over $100 million per year, which is pretty much our goal here. Just to give you some perspective, like HubSpot, which is making a couple of $1 billion per year, like when back in the days when they started, it took them 2 to 3 years to get the first 200 customers. Now they have like hundreds of thousands, if not millions. And we did over 200 customers in less than 10, 12 months. And so, yes, maybe nowadays it's easier, but I don't think so, because back in the days in 2006 when they did it, there was very few competition. There was more capital for this kind of stuff. They had a track record. And nowadays this is a much more competitive space. So yeah, we'll see how it plays out. But this is why, like, right now we are in this phase there. That was only my first business trip right now, because we're reinvesting all the profits that we do in like the software itself. So we hired a developer in Thailand, Bangkok. And now the goal is to get more developers to improve the product, because it's really about the product here. It's a product game. And if you have an excellent, better product than everyone else, gonna have way more word of mouth. So everyone is talking about marketing and sales, but when it comes to B2B SaaS, and especially CRM space where everything has been done, so you really have to innovate and have a better product to get word of mouth. And marketing and sales won't be enough. Like, just to give you an idea, like when it comes to Google Ads, like one click is about $60 if you want to go after CRM software. And so in all of the niches, like it's just $1 or $2. But here it's very, very competitive.
During my case study with Jeremy, Michel showed up and we began brainstorming the content to shoot for the day. Here's one of the clips we filmed.
Okay, so Michel, like right now, like with PoleIQ, you pretty much like hiring a lot lately in the past couple of months. You've said that in the last, I think 90 days, you added something between like 80K a monthly recurring revenue, which is insane for an agency, especially in an agency. And so I've noticed that the strategy that you have with the people you're hiring right now is to incentivize them to post on LinkedIn, which very few, if not non-agency do out there. So can you detail a little bit the process and basically how it impacted the growth of the agency?
Yeah, I mean the thing is because I was posting and Alex was posting content, I feel like our brand attracted people who were also interested in growing a personal brand. So, because you've been posting a lot of content for a long time, and you know how posting and being very consistent at content is extremely difficult because obviously you need then to me it's a no-brainer to post.
Got it. Thanks, man. So guys, even if you're running an outbound agency, you have to do content and you need to put your team doing content is essential. Otherwise, like Michel from Cold IQ will go to the moon and he will stay a brokey forever and he will take all the money.
On your client.
After this short clip, Jeremy left and Michel took me to his co-working space. The building was insane with a stellar view on the sea. Our goal was initially to record podcasts there, but the light was awful, so in the end we recorded the 2 podcasts at Michel's apartment. And after that, it was finally time to say goodbye to Mich. I was starving, so I went for a little pizza and then I visited El Parc de la Ciutadella before finishing my day swimming in the Barceloneta.
So I'm a SaaS founder, but I don't call myself. My co-founder is doing all the tech side of things. And the fun story about it is that we actually met during COVID. I think like most business partners these days. And during COVID, I was a trainee lawyer. So I was about to become an M&A, merger and acquisition tax lawyer, essentially in like So I was about to become a merger and acquisition tax lawyer in the biggest law firm in the world, which is Kirkland & Ellis. They're doing like $6 billion a year. And I was about to become like the first like a junior tax associate in the Paris office, essentially. And I don't know, like I met my co-founder a couple of months before that. We did some businesses together. In the meantime, I also had back in the days like had this dropshipping business that funded my studies. And I realized that I made 10K in 1 month, like 6 months before my final internship. And this is where I realized, oh, I did 10K in a month. And the months before that, I was doing $6K. And my job, if I had the job, I would be making about $6 to $10K per month. But as an employee, where I have no initiative, where yes, maybe you have $10K per month as a 23 years old, but the pay will not increase super rapidly. So you're pretty much capped, and like the hours, it was madness, bro. Like going from 9 a.m. to midnight most of the time, and you basically feel like you don't have a life. And I wasn't enjoying what I was doing. So met my co-founder, and we decided to save a couple of money together. So we did some service, like helping other e-commerce, and I was doing the SEO. He was doing like the landing pages and stuff. And we saved about like $40K within like 3 months, and then rented a flat and lived there for a year with the objective to build a SaaS software, because we didn't want to sell our time like as an agency, and we really want to play in the long term here. So even if it takes 5 years, 10 years, 15 years to build like a gigantic SaaS business, this is what we want to do. We enjoy doing SaaS because you have to be super creative, but you also have to do sales, which is super cool, like shooting content. So if you want a successful SaaS, there's so many things that are super interesting, even though like as you scale, you need to delegate these things. So for example, I do SEO, then you have to delegate it once you understand minimum about it. The same for B2B sales. And for cold emailing, then once you know how to run your campaigns and you found the right thing, you want to have a VA managing the positive replies, etc. But you know, like there's no routine. You're your own boss. Potentially, you're gonna earn much more money throughout your life, and it's not a race, right? Like I'm older, even though I'm still young. Like I'm 20 years old. But I'm older than most of the guys we see online, that sometimes they're in the early 20s, but they don't have 20 years old yet. and still they're making a couple of $100 per month with the agency, or mostly the course that is selling, let's be honest. But it's really about the long term here. If you really go after like I don't know how to really put it in English, but like generational wealth, if you really want to go after that, like a service business won't cut it most of the time. And so like the leverage to do that is either like investing your assets correctly, investing your money in the right assets, or building data sets, which is in my case a software company. So this is pretty much the idea here. And we also enjoy what we're doing. So I never feel like I'm working. Even like going to Barcelona was like so cool, because you go to a place that you enjoy, to meet people that you like, that you never met. Like it's like your LinkedIn friends, your online business friends, but still you never met them, right? And then you meet them, like super cool. They have the same vibes. They're the same books as you. Like I went to Michel's house, like the co-founder of Code IQ, and like doing $2 million per year. Like we have the same mindset. We read the same books. We talk to the same people without knowing that we talk to the same people. And you know, like the more you advance like this, the more you will sometimes find the actual match. Like you probably live in a city where like you feel like you are in a zone where it's a like probably you think that you're weirder. Like all your friends, your current friends, like they think you're weirder. Like your family thinks like you should take a job and be an employee or whatever. And when you talk to everyone in your surroundings, you probably think that you're crazy. But once you go to this type of events, you will see like a lot of you. And so like there's a guy, he read the same books. There's another guy, he bought the same course as you. And you see that all of these guys, no matter what age they have, like at some point they nailed it in the business. So that's pretty much why if you can at some point you go to like a mastermind or to an event related to your industry, to your business, whether it's an agency or a SaaS, you should do it, because you're going to meet other people that are further advanced in the business that you are. So you're gonna get like inspiration and motivation out of it. And if it's been people like behind you, you will be the one who will motivate them and telling them that back in a couple of months ago or a couple of like years ago, you were in this exact same shoes, and that it just takes time to build a successful business. You can have like overnight success, like overnight. You can have like some clear successes super rapidly, but to sustain that for a long period of time is also super hard. And I think this is why, like, if you're watching this video and that you are in your early 20s or even late 20s or even early 30s, like you still have so much time, like on average, except like the Zuckerberg, the Steve Jobs, etc. Like most people, they create their first business at 40 years old. And the most successful business owners in the world started at 40 years old plus. So you should not put some pressure on yourself if you haven't started business yet, but you should start as early as possible. It's like if you do soccer or like if you want to be an NBA player, like these guys, like you think at 18 years old, 19 years old, like everything is granted to them. But since they are 4 years old, 6 years old, they've been grinding like crazy for a couple of years, for 10 years plus. So they already, by the time they turn pro, like they already have like 10 plus years of experience. So imagine if you do the same and you're like 20 years old, 16 years old, and you start to do some businesses, even though they fail, 10 years later, by 26, 36, whatever, like you're gonna be so skilled that it will be impossible not to have a successful business. So it's just about it, I think. So this is pretty much my vision. And coming from a household where like my mom doesn't have a lot of money, and where I was able to do like exceptional studies. So pretty much like rags to riches story, like going from very bottom suburbs to Oxford University with a master's degree here and becoming a lawyer in the biggest law firm in the world, and still not taking the job to go back in the beginning of like the ladder. It hurts, but you got to see long term here, and this is really like what I'm going after, essentially. All right, guys, so that was pretty much about it for this business vlog. I hope you liked it. Let me know in the comments if you want me to do more videos like this in the future in France, or when I go to Thailand, Bangkok, meeting my co-founder in a couple of months. So cheers, and see you in the next video.